with the title Romeo and Julie, and billed as a modern love story inspired by Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet, you may expect to recognise elements of the Shakespeare classic in Gary Owen's new play, now at the National Theatre's Dorfman.
Romeo. Oh, Romeo, wherefore art thou?
Such expectations would prove to be wrong.
Romeo.
Romeo and Julie barely nods to the tale of the star-crossed lover. Strictly speaking, it doesn't even take the names, clearly dropping the T from hers and pronouncing his like the alpha.
Romeo.
Not the
Romeo.
Montague. The play's relationships is beyond recognition. If plays were somehow able to walk and these two texts passed each other on the street, the new play wouldn't even acknowledge the existence of its nearly namesake. Romeo and Juliet is no more an inspiration for this similar sounding play than The Prince of Denmark was an inspiration for the cigar. This lack of relationship between the plays may not matter if there was a strong idea in place, but all that remains is a gap. No echoes from the past and no blazing trails lit towards the future. It's all disappointingly vapid. The fair Verona, where we lay our scene, is splot. It's the much derided Cardiff town where Owen sets most of his work. It's like an immediate signifier of a poor community, made up of people who are either broken by or breaking free. It also means that we as an audience suffer what sounds like poor attempts at Welsh accents by the actors.
The theory of relativity handles all the big, massive things.
The theory of relativity handles all the big, massive things.
Stars, galaxies.
Stars, galaxies.
But, so I'm told, are proper renditions of this very particular splot dialect. As the titular 18-year-olds, Callum Scott Howells, him off of It's a Sin, just recently off stage as the MC in Cabaret. And Rosie Sheehy from called Midwife and from the recent revival of Oleanna quickly highlight the differences between them across their lives. Romy, is painted as a salt of the earth kind of bloke. Brain of sludge but heart of gold. He is sole parent to baby Neve, who's the product of a one-night stand, or two, if you count the morning, he boasts, somewhat inexplicably. They now live in the pokey, possibly council flat with his mum, Barb, Catherine Aaron. Mother thinks the baby would be better if it was delivered to the social, partly because she realises her son is just a child himself. Mainly because she is an alcoholic. Under the surface here, there are some challenging issues. Depression, probably central to the baby's mother giving her up. What will happen even when emotional ties return? Barb, it seems, neglected her child, abused him. To what extent? Has this caused some kind of damage? These points are, much like the original script, irrelevant. One mother is barely mentioned, the other rarely meaningful. We are not here to be challenged, it's clear.
down there and you come. That's a good lad.
It's difficult to see Callum Scott Howells without feeling the surge of love we had for him in Russell T Davies's fantastic drama. Possibly as a result, he does seem a little uncomfortable with the laddish persona of Romeo. At times he wears straight boy mannerisms like an ill-fitting shell suit. While there have always been arguments about a straight actor's right or not to play a gay role, it seems apolitical to ask the same question in reverse. And until recently, the topic hasn't come up at all, as all actors, and men to an extent, were assumed to be heteronormative. But today, sexuality is visible and people are open. Is it now okay to say that some gay men just do have different characteristics to their straight brethren? I'm talking about the more subtle qualities than just being camp or effeminate. Because the truth is that Howells continually smacking his lips or arching his eyebrows, chewing his cheeks and shifting about his crotch. It resembles what we'd call a straight acting gay. You sense he's always trying a little too hard. He delivers lines out to the audience, an underlying wink as though sharing the secret we all know. Put it this way, if the final scene had Julie discovering Romeo in bed with her dad, the turn of events may be dramatic, even shocking, but not at all difficult to believe. In fact, it would be a much more satisfying ending. Julie, on the other hand, is a privileged, educated, ambitious. She attends a Welsh language school and is doing physics at A-level. She has a conditional offer already from Cambridge University. She just needs to get 2 A stars and 1 A. Not a problem. Clever but cold. When she brags that she is more intelligent than her tutor, it sounds similar to how stupid people remain forever unaware of their own stupidity. Julie is petulant, self-important, immature, and thoroughly dislikable. Rosie Sheehy shouts her way through most of the part. She lives in a nice house on a nice road with 2 parents, get that bitch, who both work every hour to make sure she has the opportunities they didn't. To the extent it's made her father ill. You hear him coughing in the morning, her stepmother says at one point. It's never, ever mentioned again. Oh, and the mother is actually a stepmother. Early on, she talks about not missing her mother because her mother died when she was 2. That's it. More plot points thrown aside. So, as for the romance, well, let's define romance, shall we? They meet in a cafe. He wants some sleep. She wants somewhere to study. After some awkwardly childish flirting, she offers to babysit this stranger's child. She positioned it as a way to fulfill some community volunteering requirement for one or the other non-physics A-levels she may be studying. It's not directly linked to the plot, so it doesn't matter. He takes no offence at this, likely because he's stupid. When Romeo goes to rescue his drunken mother from the other side of Wales, luckily he's just met Julie. He leaves Julie to babysit. We can only assume this is a breeze for the non-maternal, inexperienced child. When he returns, he is naturally horny. They fuck. They fuck. They fuck. They run out of condom, so they do what any teenage father and a Cambridge-bound student would do. They fuck without contraception. Cue about 10 minutes spent where they confuse sex for love, talk about staying together as a young family in Splot. Her parents, angered at the thoughts of her life being wasted, throw her out. And his mother, excited by guilt-induced benevolence, takes her in. They both found it really hard. Really, really hard. Really hard. So they stopped trying. Anyway, she's got what she wanted, really. A gay best friend. Rachel O'Riordan's direction is uninspired and unsubtle. the sparse staging that seems built for its ease of touring adaptability rather than its requirements for the setting. Between scenes, cast members roll over tables and spin chairs as though each scene is a physical warm-up of some form, like there's another dance piece going on next door. When not performing, they sit on chairs facing away from the audience. It's the stuff of student handbook circa 1995. To be fair, there's little you can hang on to thematically from the script. Looking at the programme, it contains a jumble of articles. It's the history of Splot, Welsh language preservation, accessible higher education. All interesting, to a point, none particularly relevant. Certainly none explored in the play we've just seen in any particular depth. This is not an adaptation of a Shakespeare play. It's not a Shakespeare interpretation or a modernisation. It couldn't even be thought of as written after Shakespeare, like Phaedra next door. Owen has taken the title, borrowed a couple of letters, and then gutted the rest. But he's forgotten to replace it with anything of any real depth, character, meaning, or purpose. What remains is less of a Shakespeare plot, more of a soap opera storyline, and an easily forgettable one at that.